Okay, YouTube, doing some reloading today with 223s, and I'm loading up some cast bullets. I'm doing the 22 Bators, and I've got a couple of varieties here. I'm decided to try my hand at the powder coating. Now I don't have the gun. I'm using the simplest method, which they call tumble coating or dry tumble coating. I don't know, but anyhow, you basically just get the Harbor Freight, any of the glossy ones. They say stay away from the matte black, that it could be abrasive, but the glossy ones, red, yellow, white, gray, should all be fine. I picked up red and yellow. You basically just put a teaspoon of it in some kind of a Tupperware bowl. I used a butter bowl, and put a handful of bullets in there and shake them up. The powder will somewhat stick to the bullets. It don't just cling to it like when you're using a gun, because you don't have that static charge or whatever it is that a powder coating gun uses. And then you bake them the same, about 20 minutes at about 400 degrees, and they will come out with a very hard coating. But they're not real even. Here's some that I've done. I'm going to shoot them anyway. That coating on there is very hard. They're just not evenly coated like they would with a gun. Of course, I got the tumble lube ones here as well with gas check. These do not have gas checks, and as you see, I've loaded some of both of them up. So anyhow, just thought that I'd film 5 or 10 or so right here at the end. Let me see how that looks. Okay, get this out of the way. So I went to the range yesterday with the Bators, and I was pretty happy with what I got. I only shot at 50 yards, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 MOA. Pretty happy with that. My accuracy load with a Hornady VMAX bullet is a 1 MOA load, and I don't expect for these Bators to ever run like that. But 2 MOA out of these, because it was a very questionable design, still is, by a lot of people. Because it has such that big flat nose on it. Anyhow, pretty happy with it. But these cases have already been sized and trimmed and crimps cut out, all that. And it works out good because I do that on my single stage press right here. And then on my turret, I've got 4 holes, and I got just enough with doing that. So I do my sizing over here. It's kind of a separate process anyway, because 223s there's so much case prep to a 223. But anyhow, so right here I'm flaring the mouth. Have to do that on a rifle round when you're using cast bullets. So that's an extra hole that you normally wouldn't use if you were using jacketed bullets. Seat the primer, dump the powder. I absolutely love the Lee auto disc, and with this rifle powder, it is spot on. I mean, every one is just right. Well, there went my bullet. I'm just barely flaring this case mouth. I don't want to overwork my brass, so I don't put a real big flare on there. I guess if I did, I could set those bullets in there a little easier. Anyhow, seat the bullet and crimp the bullet. I'm seating these bullets to the bottom. That's probably not going to focus. To the bottom of the top driving band. I'm seating these at 2.060. That's what my gun needed to be seated at for the bolts to function properly. Let's do a couple more. Alright, flare. Yeah, and I know I normally do use the powder I mean, not the powder, but the primer thing. But right now I've got some small pistol Magnum primers in it, and I didn't want to take those out. Powder drop, rotate, ready for a bullet. And I'm using aluminum gas checks and copper. They're all working out just fine. They all seated onto that base just fine. Crimp. I like to give them a little shake, make sure I can feel the powder in there. I am pushing these bullets a good bit faster than what the book says to push this cast bullet. So I'm not really going to share the amount of grains that I'm dropping right here. But I did start out my ladder test at about the 1,600 feet per second range. I was going to chrono these today. I got my chronograph in yesterday, but it's raining outside, so kind of bummed about that. It's probably going to rain all day. Maybe I can chrono them tomorrow. Set the bullet on top. Seat. Crimp. Alright. I won't bore you with any more of that, but yeah, my reloading bench is a wreck right now. I've been casting and powder coating and sizing and a little bit of everything. It's driving me nuts too. Probably clean it up here in a little bit. But anyhow, that's it. I did not take my camera to the range yesterday when I shot those, but I definitely still have some testing to do and all that, and I'd like to shoot a video or two with me shooting the 22 Bator. So this is another nice little twist, is to also jump into powder coating and shooting with the 22 Bator. But stay tuned, I'll make another video or two in this series. Thanks a lot.